Shalom, shalom. Okay, first and foremost, facing the east, giving all praises, honor, and glory be to Yahawah, Sham, Yahawashi, Sham, Kakwadash. Those are the true names of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Yahawah is the Father's true name. That means He is, He exists. Yahawashi is the Son's true name. That means He saves, He delivers. And Kakwadash is how you say a spirit that's holy in the ancient Paleo, right? Which is, ancient Paleo, ancient Hebrew, Paleo Hebrew. Okay, you know, it's like, I'm a little annoyed. Alright, Lashawan Kodash, okay, the holy language, holy tongue, right, which we do call upon when we call upon our power. Yahawah Shem Yahawashi Kakadash. Second of all, double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone, which rule well and teach well and sincerity taught us His truth. And shalom to the Lord's hopeful elect. It's your brother Yami Kazak back with hopefully another edifying lesson through the spirit, power, and strength of Yahawah Shem Yahawashi Kakadash. As I said, I'm a little annoyed. And looking at these, I just watched this one video, man, of, these, what is they calling it? Christians versus Jews versus Israelites or something. Like, this mess was so stupid, and it was nothing but women. The brother, Manata Zabak down in South Carolina did a video on it, and I saw it the other day. Even before he did a video on it, I saw it up on the YouTube, and I was like, "What is?" I just skipped. It was like, cause it's nothing but women. First of all, okay, let's get a precept on that. All right, and this lesson will be entitled "Traps for the Simple," cause that's what these things are. Why would these individuals? If you fall for that and you think that this is actually accurate and proper and women need to be on all these podcasts and all these, panels, platforms speaking, then, you're simple, okay? You're not really in the scriptures and learning and understanding the order. Who did Yahawah Shem Yahawashi choose? We can go through the line. Adam, okay? Noah, okay? Seth, Abel, all right? Let's run through the line. Enoch, did he pull Anisha? No, he pulled Enoch. You know what I'm saying? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Okay, did he pull Sarah? Did he pull Rebecca? Did he pull Leah? Did he pull Rachel? Did he pull any of them? You know what I'm saying? Was he dealing with them? No. Okay, Moses, right? You know what I'm saying? Did he go get Miriam? Did he get Moses' sister? No. Right? So, how is Esau gonna come at you? He's gonna come at you through your women, through the women of our nation that have no business. And most of these women, I don't know, but they probably don't got no man. Or if they have a man, he's weak, he's simple, he's feeble, he's a simp. Letting your woman go up on a platform, letting your woman be out there in any type of environment like that, man. That's not her place. So their house is not set in order. When the woman is given much liberty to gad abroad, that's not set in order. This is 1 Corinthians 14, 34 and 35. Let your women keep silence in the churches. What's a church? A public assembly, okay, where saints are gathered. So that's what? On the corner, okay? Wherever we gather publicly, YouTube, TikTok, all these different platforms where individuals are speaking and talking upon the Bible and these things, you know what I'm saying? So it's in a public platform. It's social media, right? It's publicly. It's out there for the world. Before you do anything, think about, the world gonna see this, okay? That's what those women don't comprehend and understand. There's no accountability there. If you're an Israelite woman, you should think about how this is going to affect the nation and in your platform in general. I remember in the world, I had an Instagram doing music and all that. I had like 28 20,000 followers, whatever, BBB, bullshit, you know. But everything I posted, I thought about it. I was like, oh yeah, you know, this picture got to be right. Oh, this, whatever, boom, 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 because you're thinking about it. It's just it's having a sense of shame, having a sense of class, having a sense of thinking about the image that you're portraying, because Esau is constantly, steadily trying to belittle you and knock down you and paint an image that is unappealing, or that paints you in a bad light. You understand? That's how he's coming. That's how he's moving. Right? And we're not going to fall to these traps. These are traps for the simple, because the elect is not going to fall for these podcasts. They're not going to fall for these women talking. Hey, man, these women on the thing, man, they said we Jews, man. They said we Christians. They said we this and that. You're supposed to know as a man. You're supposed to read and study and know for yourself. This is why women need to maintain silence in the churches, for it is not permitted. Why is it not permitted for them to speak? Why? Because they don't know what they're talking about. They have no understanding, man. A woman is what? Deprived of wisdom. Okay? Especially if she's not with a man. Where do you gain a little bit of wisdom and sense from? From the man that you're that's dealing with you, because you ain't dealing with him. He's dealing with you. Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, for they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for women to speak in the church. So anybody that's falling for these little, man, I saw this thing on TikTok the other day. Dude talking about, we need to stop ordering these women around. We need to stop. We are supposed to worship the woman. And then you jump in the comments, and what do you see? Everybody talking about, yeah, brother, you're right. Yeah. Automatically. Because that's the vibration that these individuals are on. It's nothing but confusion. And as Babylon continues to thrive and continues to move, the confusion and the wiles, the strategies and the tactics of Esau, Edom is gonna strengthen. The wrath strengthens, the demons get stronger and more vast and more massive, Okay, so this is what's taking place. But what's happening on the right side? We're getting better. We're getting more efficient. We're getting stronger. Right? You have to have faith to believe in that. Verse 35. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for women to speak in the church. If you don't have a husband at home, then what? You just listen. Right? And if you have a question, ask it on the comment board of the video. Right? After the video is done. This is the thing. You see, American society in general is very haste. And they think everything is on demand because you're getting it right now. You can go on social media, you can type up this and you can get that right now. Okay? So you think it's just all on demand, and you treat people like that. When we come in and we teaching lessons that we already pre-planned to teach. Right? You shouldn't be in a lesson asking off-brand questions that don't even pertain to the lesson. You gotta maintain a little bit of order and decorum about yourself. Alright? Let all things be done decently and in order. Right? Verse 36. What came the word of power out from you, or came it unto you only? If any man think himself to be a prophet or spiritual, let him acknowledge that the things that I write unto you are the commandments of the Lord. So these are what? Paul is stating that, hey, these are, as he said, as also saith in the law. He's not making these things up on his own. Right? So let these individuals that's hearing this acknowledge that, hey, this is coming from the Lord. You can go back and trace it in the law. Right? This is a way that things were set up. You can go all the way back to Genesis, the 3rd chapter, and see that this was the way that things were set up. This is Genesis 3 and verse 15. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and it shall bruise his heel. Okay, which is more so talking about us, Israel, right, and Esau, the serpent. We're arch enemies. Right, we're at war with one another. You know. Verse 16 is the point. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. So your desire, you're supposed to be under a man. You desire to be with a man if you have a right mindset, if your mind is correct. Now, when you are with that man, you need to be under his rulership, under his authority. He shall rule over you. How can he rule over you if you out here just not listening? Who wants to rule over? You're unruly, unrulable, untamable. So you can't be ruled over. And that's what majority of these women are, man. That's why I don't care, bro. These women, hey, don't talk to me. I ain't about to entertain no female. I don't care. Cause it's they unruly. You're already unruly off the rip. You know? Hey, I know Isaiah 4:1 is that's it. Yeah, whatever. You know, that's cool. But right now, women are headaches. And hey, that's my opinion. I feel like that. I'm not trying to deal with these women because these women they're headaches, they're problems, they're issues. They got a mindset they're deeply rooted in wickedness. They're already deeply rooted in their mindset. She don't want to change. She wants to do her own thing. Now you got to worry about her carrying on like a whore. You know, she could say whatever. She could say, yeah, I'm only dealing with you. I heard it 100 times, man. Heard it 100 times. You know? These women are sneaky. Okay? So as Paul said, let it be like you're not married. Right? Don't worry about all that. If you got one, then you good. Do your thing. Alright? As a matter of fact, let's get that. 1 Corinthians 7:1. Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. The wife have not power of her own body, but the husband, right, under subjection. And likewise also the husband have not power of his own body, but the wife. Right? Speaking about what? Intercourse, things of that nature. You have a duty to lay with that woman. You have a duty to provide and take care of that woman, as the law says. Exodus 21:10, Exodus 21:11. Right? You have a marriage duty that you gotta own up to and deal with. Verse 5. So, and that right there, it sets a ground, it sets a balance where you get one wife and you get another wife because you tired of the other wife. No, you can't do that. You still got to deal with the first wife. Okay? You can't treat the second wife better than the first wife. Just because the first wife got on your nerves. Which that's what Jake do, because Jake is petty and Jake is sensitive and Jake is emotional and Jake be in their feelings and do shit like that. Alright? It's what Jake do. Okay? I didn't know I didn't know she couldn't cook. I didn't know, whatever. Yeah, you picked her, Jake. You laid down with her. You stuck like Chuck. Okay? Verse 5, defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that you may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency. Right? So you're communicating with one another. and you're giving time. You're like, hey, I'm fasting right now, so don't tempt me. All right, just let me do my thing. And she got to respect that. All right? That don't mean she go and deal with somebody else. That's adultery. Okay? You got to respect. But this American society is what? It's on a haste. It's on a hasty ass mindset. Well, let's say you don't live with the woman and you telling her, you don't want to come over and mess with her. She thinking you know how these women get. Who you messing with then? You don't want to mess with me. Who you messing with? All right? These type of things. Right? So even if the communication is there, she may not believe you because this world brings them up in insecurity. The insecurities of this world, man. They're immature and they're insecure. Okay? Which we all was at a time frame. Right? So you got to bear with her and make her understand and things of that nature. And she'll get it if the Most High is willing for her to get it. And if she ain't supposed to get it, then she ain't going to be with it. And, she got to go. I'm getting back to that video that I just watched. It's like a woman has no business being on the front lines. All right? Let's go to Numbers 1. And I'll get down to the point. Verse 7. Yep, 17. And Moses and Aaron took these men, which are expressed by their names, these men, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families. How? By the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward, by their posts. And Yahawah commanded Moses, so he numbered them in the wilderness of Sinai, and the children of Reuben, Israel's eldest son, by their generations after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names. So how is a family or house established? It's through the man. It's through that seed. All right, that's what house you belong to. We is what? Slakia. Well, yeah, Jacob, But furthermore, in the tribes, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, all right, Simeon, all right, Reuben, Naphtali, Ephraim, Manasseh, etc., etc. Okay? So these are men. There's no house of Rachel. There's no house of Leah. There's no house of Bilpah. It's no house of them. It's no house of Rebecca. It's no house of Sarah. But you independent-minded women, you would wish it would be. You think you can negotiate that. It can be a house of whatever. Your last name is a man's last name. Okay? You tell that to a woman, she hates it. Because she wants that position of authority, and that shows you that's a demon in her. She can't bow down. Okay? The man is greater than you. Point blank, period. So don't let your woman be a trap to you. Now, finishing this one right here is according to the number of the names by their polls, every male from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. That means what? On the front lines. What woman was included in that? None. So why is these women on this podcast? That's considered a front line. How? You're subject to everything that comes with it. All the scrutiny, all the back, the feedback, all the comments, the shares. Once again, you're thinking about what you're doing and that this is going to be shown to the world. Okay? So, regardless if it's viral pertaining to the world, but you're viral in Israel. All right? This is your little minute. This is your little moment of ignorance, whatever. And these people, some people will see it and stop and be like, yeah, I was wrong. Okay, I take the rebuke, I take the correction, etc., etc. But some people will see it and they keep going and they don't care because they're not truly reading the scriptures. As a woman, right, you should be like, well, this is not my place. I shouldn't be on these podcasts. I shouldn't be talking for my nation because It's not my position to be in the front line of this war, because this is a war. You know? Hey, shalom, shalom. What in the world? What's up with these bots? Get this up out of here. Bro, I just checked your search history and you need to repent. I just checked your page and you was a bot. Sent by Amalek. Okay, so you Amalekites, we know y'all own bots. I don't give a fuck what. You don't even know how to come into the live. So we already know you a bot. You don't even got no real profile picture. These are little simple traps, right, that Esau is coming with. Bots, okay, false pages, right, fake comments, things of that nature. You know, this is the way they attack. They're bitching every tactic. They can't even be real. They don't even got real pages. They want to speak through a computer. If y'all the real Jews, then get out there on the streets. Preach. Cry aloud. Spare none. You the people, right? But you got to speak through bots. You got to come into our pages through bots. Hey, you know, you are the devil, man. Much deception. Let's get this bot up out of here. You know? And we know ourselves. I don't know what that's talking about. Please don't, whatever. Furthermore, we're concerned with the truth. So what we pay attention to is precepts. Somebody say shalom, shalom, Yahawashi, Barak. Things that pertain to the lesson, things that pertain to the truth. We tunnel vision. All that other stuff, we ain't focus on that stuff. You know? It's trying to sidetrack you and take you off and blindside you and, you know, take you over here and take you over there. Esau loves to get you out of the spirit. He loves to take you over here and distort you and mess you up in whatever way that he can. Right? So going back to it is just basically stating that men, right, once they got to the age of 20, they had to go to the war. They had to be on the front lines. They had to do what they had to do. Men are chosen, not women. Our women never fought in the war. All right? Esau's society is backwards. You got women are about to be drafted. Like I said, it was plenty of women in the military when I was in the military. They was getting ran through, messing with man after man after man. We had this one chick, man. She used to be in the barracks, just going from door to door. Okay? So that's the mindset of the U.S. military. Okay? You know, it's the foul. Right? And that was passing STDs and things of that nature around. Right? And then, man, I remember one time I was in medical. I had like a headache or something. This one dude, yo, sidetrack. He came out. He ran out of the doctor's office, talking about this bitch done gave me and he had the house in Virginia. You know, hey, and that's on a military base, right? You messing with all these girls, you doing whatever, you thinking it's whatever. They not, oh, she in the army, so she clean. Them bitches be the dirtiest ones. Okay? You know? So, Esau's military is not a representation of glory and honor or nothing like that. You're supposed to be the greatest nation in the world, but your military is sloppy. Niggas is fat. Can't even run a mile and a half. Okay? Their food regimen is not, they're not eating properly and correctly. You go look at Moab's military, they could beat your ass off rip. You go look at the Russians, they could beat your ass off. Those Edomites, you know, but they're a little different breed. They can beat your ass off the rip. Okay, they got martial arts, you know. So America is just a sluggard in all ways. Doctrine, physical, food, everything. Okay? You know, this place has to go, because as the king is, so is the officers. between Trump and Putin, who would you put your money on in a fight? Putin, right? Putin, definitely. You know. So let's go to, what is it, number 16? Nah, not number 16. Where Yahawah said, I would have spit in her face. Right here, Numbers 12. All right, and I'm going to start at the top. Verse 1. And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married. For he had married an Ethiopian woman. Okay. Furthermore, letting you know that we can mess with other heathens. We can mess with heathens. All right. Take them as concubines. Okay. If we choose so. You know. So anybody talking about just Israelite versus we're Israelite? No, that's not it. Hey, you got Ruth. You got. Go look at Abraham. All right. Go look at Isaac. Go look at Jacob. Those are not Israelite women. Okay. You got plenty of times where we got with heathens and we produced kids, and those kids came out to be Israelites. They have to be. That's what the father's seed was. Okay? So it's a whole lot of doctrines out here, and these are what? These are furthermore traps for the simple, for individuals to fall in. This is why you got to have a good foundation. And we got that through the elders, apostles, and bishops of the Great Millstone. All right? A solid foundation. We ain't out here on BS. Verse 2, and they said, hath Yahawah indeed spoken only by Moses? Hath he not spoken also by us? And Yahawah heard it. So, bringing that to modern terms, it's a leadership setup. Moses was that leadership back then. He was the one that Yahawah was dealing with. Okay, right now, you have the elders, apostles, and bishops of Great Millstone that Yahawah is dealing with. Okay, they're going to maintain, they're going to come correctly, they're going to come properly. Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi is dealing with them and those men that are with them. Alright? So the black church, the father ain't there. It's not there, he ain't been there. They're showcasing themselves. You know, these individuals, if you say you're Israelite, but you're like these women on that podcast, going up here talking crazy and doing all this, the Most High is not dealing with that congregation. Because y'all not in order. You may know you're Israelite, but you're not moving according to the terms and the ways and the conditions that the Father has set up, that standard. So therefore you will be cast out because you don't want to listen. Right? So it is an order set up, a proper order that's set up at this point in time, man. So, and individuals out here scoffing and mocking and hating that order that's set up. Verse 3, now the man Moses was very meek, above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. And that's a quality of a 144,000 man, a 1/3 man in general, being meek, being humble, not seeking fame, not seeking glory, not trying to prove a point, you know, not boasting on achievements or none of that. None of this shit matters, bro. You could do all this stuff, you could do all the videos, and you still couldn't. You know, your righteousness is as filthy rags. So what is it really here that you can prove? Just do what you're supposed to do and pray that you get to go, you know, when it's time to go. All right? Hey, 144. The water y'all watching y'all shot. All right? So verse 4. So Moses was meek, man. He was chilling, you know, above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. And through other reincarnations, you see the same traits. David, he was meek, he was humble, you know. All right, Peter, okay, he was nice with that sword. He's also meek and humble. He took the correction from Yahawashi and he didn't carry the sword no more. You know what I'm saying? He listened, right? All right, so it's important to know that in these different, you're going to come back in the same lot, and you're going to have that position of order. That order is established before the earth is ever created. So that order, that position that King David has, that Moses has, because Moses is King David, that position is there. It's set in stone. You can't change it. That's why Peter is the rock. He was the head of the apostles, right? That same position was established. Yahawashi looked at Peter, he knew who he was in his past lives. So that same, order is established once again, right? Verse 4. And that furthermore lets you know, man, if you righteous, you was righteous before, you're going to be righteous once more. It ain't no changing, it's all predestinated. Ephesians 1st chapter, okay? 1 and 5, 1 and 11, right? It's all predestinated. It's all set up. So it's no worries about that. You come into this thing, you put on it as the elect, and you pray and hope that the Spirit stays with you, that you are in that particular light, that you are good, But we don't know. That's why we have to continuously go. Now you have traits and characteristics that may, I love how Elder Apostle Barak bring it out, 7 traits that you may be, right? But you still don't know. You still got to continue. You still got to put on the elect. You still got to examine thyself to see if you be in the faith every single day. You still got to make that call into the election sure. So verse 4, and Yahawah spake suddenly unto Moses and unto Aaron and unto Miriam, come out ye 3 unto the tabernacle of the congregation, and they 3 came out. And Yahawah came down in the pillar of the cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, hear now my words, if there be a prophet among you, I, Yahawah, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and I will speak unto him in a dream. Okay, these are how the Most High talks. Through visions, through dreams, right? My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all mine house. With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently and not in dark speeches. And the similitude of Yahawah shall he behold, wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses. This is the only one that the Most High did that with, all right? Moses, speaking mouth to mouth with him, all right? In that sense, and it's saying, you should be careful and scared of what you say about him. Bringing it back to the messengers today, okay? The Most High is dealing with any of his prophets, his true prophets. You should consider what you speak on the messengers, because they're coming from a power, right? So all this mocking and scoffing that these individuals are doing and things that they're saying and, whatever, and, you be careful with what you say. You be careful what you say on any brother, really, because there's no respect upon persons. So you're careful. You're watching your words. And it's going back to America is extremely hasteful. They don't care. They're not holding themselves accountable. They're not thinking that their words actually matter and they hold weight, that the power of life and death is in the tongue. They don't actually believe that. That every idle word shall be judged. They don't actually believe that. So they just move in the old type of way, like it's no repercussions or no consequences. But it most definitely is. Verse 9, and the anger of Yahawah was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed, the chariot, from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moses, at last, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed, when he cometh out of his mother's womb. Who? Like the Edomites. All right? One that's like dead flesh, rotting away. All right? A shashwa, to rot away. All right? Or wasted is he. They coming out, and their flesh is, you can see their blood through their flesh. They have no melanin. They lack thereof. So this is why you look at a 50-year-old Israelite, if they took care of their body, because Jake drink too much, smoke, then their body going to deteriorate regardless. But if they do what they're supposed to do to some capacity, then a 50-year-old Jake versus a 50-year-old Edomite, the Jake is going to look extremely far better based upon wrinkles and You know, all those type of things that shows age. You know, because we're far superior, man. All right, in all ways, all things. Jake hates to think that. Yeah, I'm talking about a Christian or something. You can't say you're superior than, yeah, we are. Look at the NBA Finals. Name me one Edomite that's doing something right now. Wimbayamba, that's a Jake. Okay? Shay, I call him Shay Gay Alexander. Yeah, he a Jake though. He might be hella fruity. That whole team kind of fruity. But they Jakes. You know what I'm saying? You know, they some wicked Jakes, but they Jakes. They Israelites. And they're far superior than any of these Edomites. You don't see no Edomites in the league like that. It's rare. Rare as hell. Alright. So he's praying because she's leprous. She's turned white. Her melanin is left. You know, verse 13. And like Michael Jackson. Okay. What is that? Vigalido or Viga something. You know, that shit. Or Sammy Sosa. He did that mess on purpose to himself. And that's wicked as hell. You know, and that's a plague of the heart. Where he wants to be white. You know, you hate your inheritance. You hate that you're superior. You played baseball all these years and you was far superior than these other baseball players. But you get out and you want to be like the white man. That's why you know, man, Jake get in these societies. They take these Greek fraternities, all of this type of stuff, and their mindset get changed. These are what? These are traps for the simple. Okay? So you may think, oh yeah, bro playing ball. Oh man, you know, bro got the money and all. It's a trap because he's simple. That's why above all things, you need to get what? The principal thing is wisdom. You need to get this knowledge, this understanding. Yahawah, Sham, Yahawashi. It doesn't matter about all this other stuff. You can have all this other stuff and fall into these snares that's set for you in these different pathways. If you simple. Verse 13, and Moses cried unto Yahawah, saying, heal her now, O power, I beseech thee. You know, they was talking shit about him. You married this Ethiopian, you can't. And Moses right now, he got down and prayed for you. That's how we do. Okay? You know, for our people. You know what I'm saying? We don't want, we praying for ourselves and we pray for Israel. You know, I pray, you know, for the elect, etc., etc. I don't want nobody to perish. You don't want to see your people fall out. You want your people to get it and to come into this thing and to gravitate and to hold on to this truth and to get right. You know, you want them to put the pork, lobster, crab, shrimp, shellfish, all of that down. Or they're going to catch the cancer that comes around with that. They're going to catch these plagues that come around with that. They're going to get the judgment that come around with that. But we rooting for you, Jake, even if you ain't rooting for yourself. We rooting for you. Verse 14, and Yahawah said unto Moses, if her father had but spit in her face, should she not be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days, and after that, let her be received in again. So humbled her. Going back to, she's given liberty to gather abroad. Too much liberty. Right? She should have been corrected as a child. This is why you got to train up a child in the correct and proper way. So that in their latter life, they ain't on bullshit. They already know the proper way to go. You train up your daughter right so that the man that she goes and bees with, she know how to mold to him, how to be with him. She's not just yappity yapping and being unruly. This is how you know, as how the scriptures say, a righteous man is known by his children, because he's gonna know if you was a righteous man or not by how your daughter acts. If she's moving the correct and proper way. Let me go get this. This is Sirach 26 and 25. Matter of fact, I'll start up 23. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth Yahawah, by Sham Yahawashi. So those women on that podcast, that's just yakety yak, or any women right now in a position of power, like a Juanita Bynum, okay, Yolanda Adams, you know, if you out overstepping your grounds. Yolanda Adams said that God is a it. What this bitch said. She said, we don't know if God is a he or a she or it. I remember that. I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't have been talking at all. You don't need to speak. You refrain from speaking. Okay? So this is why a woman does not need to have a position. What are they talking about, man? Hey, do what you're supposed to do. Sing. That's what you're good at. Just do that. We don't need you to speak. Okay? We don't need to speak. Just sing. That's it. Just sing. So a wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth Yahawah. If you are wicked, you're going to attract to a wicked man. Opposites do not attract. What does it sound like me attracting to a woman that hates Yahawah by Hashem Yahshua? What? No. Opposites don't attract. That's the dumbest thing in the world I heard. Okay? No, that's like an Israelite attracting to an Edomite. Man, she was just, she had that Edom in her, man. I had to get with her. No. All right? If I ever liked the Edomite, she had to be a dick, most likely. She had that flavor. She had that salt. Probably so. All right? Opposites do not attract, man. You know, wicked get with wicked. Righteous get with righteous. We are joined together. We are equally yoked. Right? Verse 24. A dishonest woman contendeth shame, but an honest woman will reverence her husband. So these women on that podcast, or once again, any women that's overstepping her bounds, overstepping her liberty, you know, and making her man look bad, embarrassing her man, doing things of that nature, carrying herself a foolish way, okay? She's not reverencing her husband. She's not calling her husband Lord. She's not treating him like he is above her. She's trying to treat him like her equal. But y'all not equal. Last time I checked, you're not equal in any fashion. Nah, you're not. You have been made, women have been made with a tendency to do, you know, like chores and stuff of that nature. They got more of a servant attitude. Okay? They got these abilities about them. If they raised up the proper way in the correct way. Okay? A man is more rough around the edges. You know, if you're a real man, you know, you can yard work, stuff of that nature, going to work, working long hours and stuff of that nature. You can do all this type of stuff. All right? Women are more delicate. You got to face the reality of things, that you're not equal to a man. Yeah, as a woman, you could be like, well, I could do what a man can. Yeah, but your body is not built and designed to go and lift 50 pounds every 30 minutes and take it over here and lift all these bags and build a house and all of that. No, it's not designed to do that. Why would you want to step into a position that you are not designed for? You're not qualified for. Because they wicked, man. Verse 25, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. All right? Or a bitch. It says that in the GNT. But she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord. Going back to these women on these podcasts, on these they teaching lessons. You got women churches, all right, out here, you know, in Cali and all over the nation, most likely. Where what's that? Joyce Myers, man. Joyce Myers. You know, you got women churches, things of that nature. So they're stepping in a position and they're not thinking that this is a shameful position for them to have, because this is not the position that the Most High meant for you. This is not, you teaching the Bible, but in the Bible it speaks against what you're doing. That's how hypocritical could that be? That's hypocritical, man. Wow. All right. I'm going to get a little bit more on this. 26. A woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all. That's your wisdom. Being under a wise man. You should be counted wise. Right? Yeah, what is I was watching Job. I was watching the book of Job on Amazon Prime. Yeah, it's whitewashed. But I can't really remember the scripture. But it was basically said, if y'all all shut y'all mouths, y'all will all be counted wise. You know, and that's going back to Proverbs. Even a fool is counted wise when he holds his lip, holds his tongue, loosely quote. You know what I'm saying? So if you just hold on to that man, let him rule. You identify him as a wise man. You know what I'm saying? He's about his business. He's about Yahawah, Yahawashi. He's doing what he's supposed to do, continuously, ongoing. You see that. You know that. You know, he ain't playing. And you know he ain't playing. He austere, right? He with it. He ain't changing. He ain't fake. You know? Hey, you got to count that as a prize. You got you one. You know? Well, many ain't got one. So, you got to throw out Yahawah, Yahawashi, Bashim, Kakadash for that every single day. Let's read that one more time. A woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all. But she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all. You let your emotions get to you, and now you want to disrespect your husband because you know how Jake is. You know how Eve is. Right? Just that petty mindset. This is a petty generation. It's an adulterous generation and a petty generation. And a very emotional, sensitive generation. Okay? Well, about done. You know what I'm saying? I'll get a little bit more. The point been made. Verse 27. A loud crying woman and a scold shall be sought out to drive away the enemies. You know, go get Big Mouth. Go get Big Mouth. Let her drive away the enemies. You know? And a country is noted by how they women are. That's a key. A country is noted by how they women are. You go to, you know, wherever you go to Iran, they women in order. They got their head covers and all that. They fearful. They scared. They men are in authority. So they're moving the correct way, in correct, proper way. Okay? Pertaining to their culture. You know, not pertaining to the Bible or nothing, but just pertaining to their culture. At least they're honoring their men. That's one thing you could say. Right? We don't expect the heathens to be under the laws, commandments, and statutes at this point in time. It was not given to them. So I'm not putting that on them when it was not given to them. Right? And that's what you Christians do when you try to give the law into everybody, when it's not. Now in the kingdom, yeah, they're going to have to get it. Right? But right now, the heathens being heathens. Okay. Who this thing pertains to, according to Romans the 9th chapter, is Israelites. Okay? That's who the promises, the covenants, the service of power, that's who this pertains to, who owns it, who needs to keep the laws, commandments, and statutes to the best of their ability. Right now, the Israelites, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. So you're really wicked by trying to put that on a nation that don't even know about it. They never knew about it. All Moab knew, you know, back in Lot's time they knew. But, you know, now all Moab know is Buddha. Okay? So they're Hebrews, but they're not Israelites. You know what I'm saying? And that's through Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi, because Lot would have been considered of, you know, a son of power. Okay? But going onward, through his generation, Yahawah established Moab, and he established Ammon. He established different nations that came out of Lot. You know, so let me see, man. I think I'll get Micah, and then I'll wrap it up, because that's pretty much it. This is Micah. Just get to the point, straight up. 7 and 10. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, Where is Yahawah thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mere of the streets. Your position was not to mock, not to scoff, not to assume that you have, you know, a greater position than a man. All right. Once again, you're trying to go forth and build a house when that's not your skill set, and that was never given to you. Even though, yeah, you could do it, it's gonna take you far longer. You know, so it's like, even, yeah, you could do it, but do you need to do it? Is that really designed for you to do it? Are you set up to do it? A center could be a point guard, but do he need to do it? And is he going to do it efficiently as a point guard? No. A center, 7 foot, 6'10", whatever, you designed to be a center. All right? You're not designed to be a point guard. That's not how your body type is set up. That's not what you're qualified for. We all have a position to fill, a portion, a lot that we have to walk in. Right? You know what I'm saying? So, hey, with that being said, don't fall for these traps that are set up. Don't be simple. Man, I know I kind of went in on the women a lot, but it is what it is. It's just jumping off that video I just watched. I had a little inspired by that, the spirit to get on it. And this simplicity of Babylon is massive, right? Everywhere you look, simplicity. Okay, and real quick, Isaiah 60? I gotta get it, because that's what's covering the earth, that gross darkness. This is Isaiah 60, and starting at the top. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of Yahawah is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. Right? So that darkness, which is the confusion, which is the wickedness, which is anti-truth. Okay? All of that's happening right now. That darkness is massive upon the earth. The anti-truth. Right? So in it all, though, we have Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi, and we're going to be able to get through and make it. And we got to hold on to that light. Not suppress the light, not sell out and lose the light and go into the darkness because you saw temptations in the darkness. No, and you got to maintain your position in the light to hold on to the light. You start slipping and losing the grip, adjust. That right there is you checking yourself, pulling out that leaven. We all know what our flaws is. As the elder said at camp, a couple camps ago, you know what your strengths is. Now focus on your weaknesses. Right? Build them up. Right? You know what I'm saying? So, hey, that being said, giving all praises to Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone as always. Shalom, shalom, Kwame Yashala, and Abad Baba. Shalom, shalom. Keep the faith.